Hello and welcome to a quick update video about Cardano. I want to talk about the Cardano price, what it's currently doing. We can see that we continue to trade in this ascending wedge. I said before, it's actually a bearish pattern. Yeah, on the daily here, we can clearly see that we've got 3 touch points at the top here, a couple of touch points down here. That comes sort of close enough here. But yeah, it is an ascending wedge. We are getting closer to that apex. Price is getting condensed a little bit. And a breakout will happen in the next few days. The question is just, is it going up or down? And for me, it is getting a bit critical now. I would have loved to see us getting to the $3.10 again. And it seems like we are struggling again. So, you know, it's at a point where if we fail to get through to the 310 again, and if we fail to get above it before the 12th of September, we could see a further correction, in my opinion. It's always just to be on the side of caution. You know, on this channel, I'm not just hyping Cardano for the sake of it. I'm bullish long term anyway. You know that I said we'll get to the 450 this year. That's still my view. The question is, do we get to it before the Alonso hard fork? And you know, I'm not sure anymore, to be honest, because the longer it takes, the less probable it will be. But chances are, as we get closer into that apex, there might be a breakout, a final breakout. But it's just to be prepared and not to hype something which might also go to the downside. I just want to raise this awareness here. What we obviously have is a nice consolidation at the moment. So for me, it was a good price to buy yesterday at 280. On the daily, what we can see is that some indicators are just pointing into the red. I mean, we've had this bearish crossover on the MACD. We're making lower highs on the RSI. So it shows that the momentum is slowing down again. Ascending wedge, as I said, also a bearish pattern. Long term, we are still in an uptrend. Yeah, so we have the moving averages all below us, you know. So it is still an uptrend, but it is losing momentum. We can't deny that fact. If we go to the 4-hour chart, what we can see that we have tried to make new highs here, and we've also made new highs, but it just is getting more and more difficult for the price to make these new highs. And I mean, yesterday there was another attempt, but we actually made a lower high. You could argue that this was actually part of that, you know, still of that major wave here. And here we have another wave. It was quite similar. You had a high here, then you made a lower high and another lower high, but then we saw that the next wave going up. And as you probably know, these waves always happen. You've got waves within waves. That's just what you have in trading generally. And we've seen that a few times. We made a high here, then consolidation, another high, but a lower high. And then in the next major wave, we made a new high. So still, it's getting more and more difficult. If you're wondering why this resistance line isn't touching the highs, well, because this is based on the daily. So this is just what it is. So on the 4-hour chart, obviously we went through it, but we didn't close the day above that resistance line. So that is why it's cutting through bodies here. But what we can see, we have a bit more detail. So what I expect us now, we hit that support here at 284 on that diagonal support line. I guess we'll go up to potentially 297, 298 again. And then there will be a decision point at some point. So we will get through the 298. That would be positive. That would be really good. And then the daily candle should close above it. That would be really bullish. However, if the next major wave, which is just starting now, in my opinion, if that fails to make a new high, because the last 3 waves made new highs, on the daily at least, if that wave is failing to make new highs, I would be inclined to think that we will be in for a more significant consolidation. Now that could be anything between, you know, up to 30%, I guess. That's what we've seen before the last hard fork. For me, that would still be a new possibility to buy. You know, this is all just short-term moves, but I just wanted to raise the awareness that with these 3 waves, and we haven't really seen, I mean, yesterday I was really hoping we could get to the 310 again, but obviously yesterday we saw that small sell-off here that I believe that was all driven by a bit of FUD and these news about some problems in the test net. And again, there are solutions for that, and it was apparently only a minor issue as I understand it, more FUD than anything else. I'm not sure if it's really fake news, but it's definitely FUD. People yeah, just making a bigger issue out of it than it actually is. But that might have triggered that smaller sell-off here. But yeah, so this wave, I think today we'll probably have a decision. Are we going to break that or not? So if we get above this is 298, of 298 or not. So if we get above that, I think we'll probably then get above the $3. That would be great. But yeah, I mean, it's just to make you aware that we are sort of losing momentum. We can notice that people are getting out of Cardano at the moment a little bit and put their money into other cryptos, which are just sort of going through the roof at the moment, like IOTA, which other one? I think Algorand has just broken out. Of course, we've got Solana, which I think is now consolidating a little bit, but I would need to have a look. I'm not following that closely, but Quant has done another boost. So I think it's people now getting more conscious about the fact that Cardano has already seen a big boost. And we can see it on that major overview here as well, that we have a little bit of a curve down here. So it's sort of losing momentum a little bit. It's just to be aware of it. You know, honestly, I'm not going to sell any of my ADA anyway. But yeah, it's just to raise awareness about that next wave. So take a look at where we are. Observe that 298 level today. And if we manage to get above it and close it, I think we'll be good. But if we don't and bounce off again, we will continue to trade within that apex here, and at some point might then break to the downside. So it's just to be aware of it. Again, for me, a price drop. I know many of you guys are actually waiting for a price drop as well because you want to accumulate more. I can read that in the comments. So it's a win-win both ways, I guess. So, all right. So hopefully you liked that video. If you did, please smash the like button. And if you want to follow me on this crypto journey, please subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.